The date today is October the 9th. So here we are on October the 9th. This is Coating Central podcast, Between the Joints. So coined by Brandon Landis. So first, introductions. This is Chad Shoemaker of Top Coat Technicians. Yeah. You've been in the industry now for a couple of years.
Right.
You came with a background in, what were you doing before? Tell us about you, tell us about your company, tell us how you got started in decorative concrete, right up close to the mic.
Okay. So, I started, my brother owned a business in spray foam. Mm-hmm. He taught me a lot, and he actually passed away, and I ended up taking over his business. So what I did is, before he passed away, we talked, and we kind of decided that I wanted to eventually get into coatings myself. It started off as a DIY project from some cheap Rust-Oleum Home Depot kit in my own garage. I fell in love with doing it, and I was always handy with my hands. And then once he passed away, I needed to figure out a way to, push my energy to something good instead of letting it consume me. So that's where I fell into reaching out to other people in the area, and that's how I came across you and you guys' business.
Yep. When was that now? That was...
I'd have to look at pictures.
2022?
I would say 2022. That sounds about right.
So 2 years. How do you feel 2 years in?
2 years in, it's weird.
Yeah.
That's the best words for it.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling. Who would have thought? It's just...
Get it right up in your face. Yeah, it's weird. So do you feel like it was beneficial to get started? Do you feel like you've done well? I mean, standing from the outside looking at all of our customers and all of our contacts, I was just talking about this the other day. You see people that come in, they train, they have, super high hopes and ambitions of where they're going to go with their business. And, I think a lot of people just have semi-unrealistic expectations of how much money they're going to make right out of the gate and how well they're going to do. And I see a lot of people come in and, burn out.
Right.
And then you see folks come in, they kind of get comfortable, become complacent and do, whatever. And then you see businesses like yours where you're like hungry to get it.
Right.
And, within our inner network, the Bulletproof team, we have focused initially on, the artists of the industry. Let's cater to the artists. This is the artistry program. But really, we've got some very unique customers like yourself that are focused more on, you were just telling me this last night, man, I really want to be focused on commercial work.
Right.
It's interesting because this industry is composed of artists and then contractors.
Right.
And you get this kind of mesh of people that can do both,
right.
So what we talked about with the artistry program is, how do we kind of cater this thing to folks that are more after contracts and contracting, less artistry and more commercial work? So this year we brought out the commercial grade line for Bulletproof, to kind of focus on these guys. And it was a slow start at first. We got a urethane cement system. We got our 100% solids commercial grade epoxy. We've got 100% solids commercial grade polyaspartic, which, you're using the regular Bulletproof line right now.
Right.
What do you feel like if you could make your own tackle box, to have on a daily basis, what would you change? What would you bring in that's different? Are you happy with what you have, or?
Yeah, so I am completely happy with everything that I have right now. And I don't like to fix something unless it's broke, but that's where you separate yourself from others. You're always innovating and finding the next. So for me, I will ride the horse until I can't ride it anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's just, if it's making me consistent money, I'm in a better place now than I have ever been. So it's like I am in no hurry whatsoever to change anything.
Yep.
But I do want to, like you said, push more into the commercial world. I do really enjoy doing, the more higher end showroom artistic stuff, but my passion and where my goals are at and where I want to be is leading towards the commercial primarily.
Yep. So, which is what, I came in swinging myself, directly into commercial, and we actually had to pivot a couple of times along the way as we built our company and say, I've hit a fork in the road, not just with, Megan's, but with Bulletproof and Ballistics. Where do I want to cater our products? Where do I want to go after, and it's we obviously see a substructure of this industry as surface prep, and then kind of the polish world and the coatings world. So we do target, different sides of the industry depending on what we're going for. And, there were many times along the way where I'd come across a bridge like, okay, ballistics does really well in the commercial world, but it does really well in the residential world, so what do I focus on right now? And I think that we as suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, we have the same struggle, which is like, where do we want to go after? There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of doors. From my perspective, the residential world, just like from your perspective, comes a lot more headache, right? I mean, that's just the glory of commercial is everything's clean cut.
Yep.
It's on a contract.
Right.
You got a GC and a foreman 90% of the time. There's leadership, there's structure. And on our side of the coin, in order to cater products to that world, you have to, it's a very intensive process to become specified. You got to work with architects and engineers. And, I think during our growth, our focus has been more residential, and we're trying to make the same switch because my comfort zone really is the commercial world,
right?
So you started off kind of, I mean, you had this spray insulation and, that and this and that and the other, but I saw you kind of start from square one.
Right.
So what was the evolution of your business like from the first month of maybe closing a job at $5,000 to, getting 10X in the first 2 years?
So literally the very first job I did other than my own house, so my first official was a hand grinder and a shop vac in the back of a pickup truck, I charged them $2,200 just to even get my name out, just to let people know, just to get my attention on Facebook, on social media, just to show people what I can do. And from there, I had a pull behind trailer, not a box trailer, so everything was just out in the open, and then just slowly started to build, just chip away. Every income that I had, I just put right back into the business. I didn't pay myself, and you could ask Nick. For like the first 3 months, I didn't pay myself out of my business bank account. He's like, dude, what are you doing? Because every extra penny I had, I reinvested it back into what I believed in. And then from there, I bought, a 6x10 trailer, hated it, and I still have that thing. And it's made me, till this day, the most money out of that little tiny trailer.
Yep.
That first year I did over six figures, I think I did every bit of $200 to $300K of revenue. And, that was my first year being part-time in this industry. I was a full-time, working 48 hours one week and 36 hours the next. We worked 12s, three days one week, 4 days the next. And then when I had that off day of a 2-day, 3-day stretch, I was just doing flooring. And when I wasn't doing flooring, I was doing insulating.
Yep.
So I remember on one point in time, I had 86 days in a row where I was just completely wiped out working. If I wasn't at my job, I was doing a floor. If I wasn't doing a floor, I was insulating.
You see people in these groups, on these forums, talking about, how envious they are and how they wish they could have what we have, and that, they want our successes. And it's like, guys, the first 2 years of your company you're going to be probably broke,
right?
Or you're going to feel broke. You're going to start seeing assets, accumulate, and you're going to start seeing your business do better, but you're not going to feel any different. Right. And, we've talked in the past about the value of having, a mentor or somebody that's been there before you.
Right.
So what we've really tried to do, specifically with the Bulletproof team, is, refer people to people that have been down that path. And I think that's what's missing a lot right now from this industry is like, there's a whole bunch of 2-day classes out there, and that's totally cool. I think that's what you came to us for, a couple days. We spent 2-3 days together. Talked about a bunch of opportunities.
Yeah, you planted the seed.
Yeah, you just planted the seed, and everybody trashes on those things, and that's, there's nothing wrong with it, but I think what's missing is the ability to network, connect,
exactly.
Bring people together that have done this thing, and be like, dude, how did you do it? Talk on that. Like, how was it being kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and was it a benefit?
So I live in a population of, my hometown is like 6,000 to 7,000 max. So The good thing about that and the bad thing about that is, there's not a lot of people, but word of mouth is a sword that you live by and you die by. So if you're doing, shit work, you're going to get that reputation. But if you're doing good work, people talk, and it spreads fast. like I said just earlier, all my money was being dumped back into the business. And one of the biggest things that I dumped my money back into was advertising. You have to advertise. You're not, so yeah, you make $5K off a job, but that's not profit put in your pocket. You put that in the business's pocket. You let that and you expand and you snowball effect until it grows and grows and grows.
Yep.
I know I'm preaching to the choir with you, but for people that doesn't know,
and dude, that is
you
the
cannot
biggest.
pay yourself, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, this is the first time that you get a glimpse of money. Where I was in my life is I was paycheck to paycheck. I bought my house at 22. Full-time job, just a normal person, just taking on a mortgage. So when you get that first money, you're like, you just have 100 doors and there's so many options, and it's figuring out what doors to go through. And then that's why you need to find someone that has walked that path.
Yep.
To get advice. Ultimately, it's your choice, but you need to get opinions from different backgrounds to understand.
9 times out of 10 with these people, we plant the seed, they buy the trailer and the equipment.
Yeah.
They're ready to throw the towel in 3 months. It's because that first $5,000 they went to Cancun, bro.
Yeah.
It's like that's not how it works.
It's not what you're doing.
Yeah, you can't do that, So we talked this morning, literally on the way here, about, structuring your business and what that means. For the first 3 years of our business, we didn't spend $1 in marketing, right? But we had a pretty big social media presence,
right?
Because I came in and kicked the hive. I was like, well, what if I could bring a product to market that did X, Y, and Z? And next thing you know, everyone wanted to beat up Corey Colson because that product didn't exist. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
And then we brought it to the table, and of course, it is what it is. So from there, for us, it was a little bit of a unique situation. But even before kicking that hive, I went out and, I built social media pages, and I started, getting out there and kind of probing. And I think the common theme is, regardless of whether you're online or in person, you've got to network, and you have to, and you got to listen to other people. And for those of the folks out there that are putting up their walls, shutting their doors, to protect their market, they're not realizing that, that the healthiest thing that ever happened to us as a brand was, our competing companies that are now competing against us coming into market. At first I was pissed off about it because I had monopolized this thing, right? I was the only game in town for like 2 years. But eventually that technology would have fizzled out, right? Because there's nothing to stimulate it. It would have been like, oh yeah, it's a cool product, I heard about that. And I've seen that with products in the past. There's another sealer actually out there that I saw come out pretty strong. I tried to use it, I didn't like it. It was like it wasn't like our system, it was like an outdoor system. I struggled. I think that company had to figure some things out, whatever. But, nothing came out to really compete with it. So I think it just kind of became another thing in people's trailers, and some people liked it, some people didn't. Right. What has kept our brand alive is having other people in town that are out there trying to compete against us. How much nice new stuff have you bought for your business? Where it's nice, right?
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah.
My guys don't want for anything when it comes to the business.
That's right.
I'll swipe it right now.
And they got a nice couple of trucks now. They've got good equipment.
2 trailers.
He's bought a new Sace grinder.
Right. So we got 3 grinders now, like 4 vacs. A couple rigs. So slowly growing.
All right, so we're gonna do something fun.
All right.
Give me one word to explain Madden Wolf.
One word.
Just one. You got one.
One word to explain that guy.
Yep.
He's the most colorful guy I know.
One word.
One word. Man, I feel like there's no other word that could describe him other than unique.
Yeah.
He's probably the most unique character I've ever been around.
Gritty. I'd say gritty.
Gritty.
Yeah, I love Madden.
Yeah, me too.
Yep. He phenomenal artist, brilliant mind.
Yeah, it's trying to get into his brain.
Super loyal friend.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah. I remember there was a couple of times where I'd get around and I'm like, I just want to see if I can just get in your brain. And I'm like, get me out of your brain. He's like,
what? Help me! It's like Beetlejuice. What is this world?
All right, but yeah, he
phenomenal
genius.
dude.
Yeah,
my kids love him.
All right.
In one word, explain Brandon Landis.
Let's see. One word for Landis, man. I hope I can't use the first one. Let me see. You could at least give me a heads up so I can think about this. You just want me on the spot. One word for Landis. Man, honestly, I don't even know. What is it? Give me your word.
Loyal doesn't even scratch the surface.
Yeah. Like there's so many words that.
Authentic.
Right. He's like, man, the way he thinks about stuff. There's just. And the people that probably don't like him just don't understand the way his mind works.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And once you figure out what makes him spin, dude, you'll line up eye to eye.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize that, branding comes with like moral fiber that people just can't even comprehend.
Right.
And that was one of the first things I really appreciated about him was his respect for my beliefs and his beliefs, right? Yeah. You don't often come across people that have good, strong biblical worldview, right? That this is what God did and this is how we should act. And, Brandon was like one of the few people while I was getting slaughtered up that was just right there by my side for me. He'd see it, and rather than calling me, screenshot and sending it, hey, did you see this? You should get involved. He didn't stir drama. He called me and gave me words of wisdom, and just was a good friend. So I would say just a super talented dude, but
yeah, dude. I feel like every topic I got with him, he's very knowledgeable in whatever I have to ask him about.
Yeah, we have very interesting conversation because we both retain a lot of knowledge. Yeah. And I know he lets me win sometimes when I know I'm wrong. Right. And then it's vice versa. I let him win a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a hard one to figure out a word just for that guy.
Yeah, it's a good dude.
But what a guy.
Yep. All right, so one word, we'll bring somebody else in here from Nick Davis.
Man. Can I do 2 letters? I would say A1. That's my guy.
He's a dude.
He's my guy.
He's a good dude. A lot of people really love Nick. Yeah. Nick is, what people love most about Nick is he always picks up his phone. Right.
Dude, I swear he picks up his phone all the time.
Every time. It never fails. If I have to talk to somebody and it's 11 o'clock at night and I need some clarity or something, he picks up.
He's a phone caller.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. That's why people love him. They can always get a hold of him. Yeah. And I always wonder how he has so many customers and he always makes it to that phone. So
I don't know where I was going with that, but if I had to call one person or I died and make sure they answered the phone, I'm either calling 1 or 2 people, Nick Davis or 911. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of the same.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yep, absolutely. All right, one word for 2024.
Playing the word game here.
Yep.
2024, man. For me, what 2023 would be that one. I don't know, man. I would say lesson, because I have learned. Man, I feel like this past year I've gotten so much older. So for me, 2024, the word would be lesson.
Yeah. Yep, I would agree. This last year was this last 2 years were I was like the grasshopper, just trying to figure it out, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes. This is, again, October 9th, 2024, Between the Joints with special guest Chad Shoemaker, yes, Top Coat Technicians. What's your website?
TopCoatTechnicians.com.
TopCoatTechnicians.com. Part of the Bulletproof Artistry Team and CEG program. So if you guys want to check that out, you can go to SqueezeYourTrigger.com. Check out CoatingsCentral.com. Supply, the letter N, Design.com. That should get you where you need to go.
Get you close to it.
That's right. Have a great day.
Yeah, we appreciate it.